Karl here from Brrraaains Head-Banging Life, gbhblofficial for short, and it's horror movie review time, looking and sounding and feeling like a film from the year 2000. The Irrefutable Truth About Demons is a seriously fun flick, provided you are willing to completely detach your brain and enjoy the absurd ride. A ride that writer and director Glenn Standring tried to be as creative as possible with, wringing every penny out of the budget. And a ride that I think the cast are mostly game for being part of. A cast that includes Katie Wolf, Jonathan Hendry, Sally Stockwell and Karl Urban. Yes, that Karl Urban. Way before he became the superstar that he is now. And way before he became a versatile actor capable of holding the viewer's attention on screen. Although that's probably being a little too harsh, as he's actually not too bad here. He's playing the role of anthropology professor Harry Ballard, who gets caught up in a demonic plot surrounding cults and the mysterious death of his brother Richard a few months prior, with events spiraling out of control for Harry, causing massive issues with his girlfriend, played by Sally Stockwell, as he gets caught up with the schizophrenic Benny, played by Katie Wolf, in an attempt to stop cult leader LaValiant, played by Jonathan Hendry, from completing a ritual. Pretty wacky, right? Or maybe none of this is actually true, or maybe none of this is actually happening, and it's just Harry's way of dealing with the grief of losing his brother and being on a pretty insane cocktail of drugs.
Coming to get you, Harry. Beware, a Black Lodge is after you.
Hello, slave. You have a great untapped power. I wouldn't turn away from the truth, teacher. You'll end up like your brother.
Yes, this film does actually try to be a bit psychological, but aside from one interesting sequence, I don't actually think it tries too hard, meaning any attempts to subvert are unconvincing. Which is fine though, because the Irrefutable Truth About Demons has so much silliness going for it elsewhere, it really didn't need any serious threads. The story is dumb, but layered, and that bleeds into a handful of characters that are basic, but memorable. In the case of one or two, that's mainly because of how they look. A couple of these actors and characters, should I say, have spent some money in an S&M store, it seems. Yet the clear age of the film just makes it even more endearing. You won't find many 2000 horrors that actually encapsulate that period as well as this one does.
Demon's a real buddy.
That also applies to the filming style, the yellow filters, the music and the effects, many of which are solid when practical. There's not a ton of CGI in this film, but when we do get some CGI demons, they stand out, and not for good reasons. What does stand out for good reasons though is the blood and gore, of which there is plenty, and there are some decently savage touches here and there. It's just a shame some characters sell some of the more brutal moments with a look of mild disinterest and confusion rather than fear or disgust, with, and I'm going to say it, Karl Urban being one of the chief culprits here. To be fair though, he and others don't really have a lot to work with, and it often feels like they're being propelled forward by a rushed narrative, giving them very little time to breathe and be in the moment. Something that means Urban and Wolf end up having very little chemistry and delivering awkward romance moments and a seriously boring sex scene. Don't worry too much about this though, as there's always something delightfully silly right after, and most will be gleefully anticipating another cheesy Jonathan Hendry scene. It's a shame he's not in it more, but he does light things up brilliantly in a really awkward way when he is. It's another positive aspect of this film, and one of many, making it, I think, a bit of a gem, and certainly a forgotten one of its era. It's not great in any way, shape or form, but there are so much worse films out there. Unchain your brain and you can have a laugh with this, even though it does take itself a little too seriously at times and tries to tell a really sensible and nuanced story. Forget all about that. Enjoy the silliness, the awkwardness, the bad acting, the iffy effects, and just enjoy that concept. Think Constantine to a certain degree, the Keanu Reeves one. I'm not saying it's like that film, but I'm saying there's elements of that I find quite similar in this as well, particularly in style. It is the irrefutable truth about demons. You got any thoughts? You know what to do? Let me know in the comments. Thank you very much for watching. If you'd like to see more content like this, please consider hitting the subscribe button. It is gratefully appreciated. You can find us over at gbhbl.com, our full website where reviews, news and so much more goes up daily. We're also on all social media platforms: Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Threads, at gbhbl. Just search for gbhbl and you will find us out there. We also have merchandise on sale. You can access the shop via the website.